Hello, welcome back. In this today's episode, we're going to talk about HTML styles. Okay. Previously, we did talk about something called paragraphs, headings, and we have been discussing attributes and elements. Now, one of the key attributes within HTML is called style. This is an attribute that allows us to control the design, the aesthetics of our HTML tags. By default, HTML is very dull and black and white, but using the style tag, we basically are allowed to incorporate CSS within our HTML and provide what we call design elements to it, such as giving colors to our content, changing the font, changing the size, and many more things can be done. Okay, so how do we use this style? So, for example, if I want to change my text into red or blue or change its size, for example, we use the style tag. How do we do that? If you scroll down into this again as W3 pages, it tells us exactly. So basically, setting the style of an HTML can be done using the style attribute. So this is the key thing that you have to use. Now, how do we use attributes? We have already discussed this in previous session. Basically, you need to write tag name. Now, this tag name means that style is applied on every single tag that you can use in HTML. Okay, means that it can be applied, the same aspects can be applied on heading, paragraph, or any other further tags that we will be using. You will be allowed to use style with it. That's the key thing there within attributes that we need to understand, that when we use attributes, basically attributes are shared across tags. Okay, they are not specific to only one or two tags. There are certain attributes that are specific, but in this case, this is basically something shared. I will show you exactly what I mean. So now, how do we use it? We give any tag name, paragraph or heading or whatever tag you basically want to use. We write the style is equals to and property colon value. Now that's the key thing here. What is property colon value? This is actually CSS code. Okay, this is actually a CSS code that we write and we tell our HTML that, hey, this is a CSS based style that we're going to use. What is CSS? How do we use it? We will be talking about this as we go along in further sections, and then do follow along this channel so that I will be talking more of CSS completely in detail. So don't worry about that. There's a whole complete tutorial on complete CSS and how we use it in XYZ. So this typically in terms of CSS language is known as inline CSS. So we use inline CSS within our tag name. Inline basically means that with the tag name we provide CSS style, and the way we use CSS is we give it a property colon and its value. Okay, so this is generally thing. So how it's done, for example, I want to change the background color of my content. So I specify body, again style. Now body is a tag and I want to change its background style. So how do I do that? I simply use style attribute is equals to, then I use background color. Now this becomes my property colon and its value, the color name. Okay, that's how it is done. So we specify a property, we specify its value separated by a colon. So if I check this code out, this is how it basically should look like. So as soon as the page loads, notice the page is blue in color. By default it's usually white, right? But because I've set the style on a body or tag, body again means anything that the user sees. This entire page area is called a body, and we want to change the background of the body. To do that, style attribute background color colon powder blue. So this becomes powder blue. So for example, if I don't like powder blue, I can change this color to, in other words, green. Okay, so as soon as I type in green, hit color, it becomes green. Now I can apply the same style on multiple different attributes. So I can say, hey, listen, style, let's apply on h1 is equals to double quotation marks, because we're specifying in CSS property. And I can say color colon, in other words, red. Now this basically means that I have specified the h1s to be of red color. As soon as I hit red, it becomes red. This is because we have provided it as style. Same thing I can do with paragraph tag as well. So if I go inside the paragraph tag, I write the style attribute is equals to double quotation marks for the style. I can say make this guy's color, for example, yellow. Okay, and then hit run and this becomes yellow. Similarly, there are multiple different styles that we can use within our HTML code. For example, if I just zoom into this thing, for example, if I want to specify more color, so I can say colon, semicolon, background color, okay, background dash col or color, and I can say, hey, make this guy's background color, for example, blue. Okay, now what we have done is we have used two different styles within one same style attribute. Okay, so we have set its color, font color to be yellow and the background color to be blue. So as soon as I hit red, you see the background color becomes blue. This is basically what styling allows us to do. Now what we can do with this, we can do every single thing. Whatever you want to do, you can specify styles, and there are tons of styles that you can apply on paragraphs and headings, backgrounds, foregrounds. Entire web pages, the entire game of designing a web page basically resides within CSS style, and there are ton of CSS properties and its values that we can use. So this is basically what it's trying us to do, that hey, listen, there are CSS styles that you can use, and this is what basically we will be doing. So if I come down here again, it does the same example. It uses a background color for the heading tag and background tag for the paragraph tag, background style for the paragraph tag. Do keep in mind that because the style is an attribute, it comes inside these curly brackets. Okay, so inside these curly brackets we specify the style. Okay, this, it's not separated because it's provided within the this corner brackets. It indicates that this is belonging to this particular tag. It's an attribute of this tag and it's going to use that. Okay, so we can set the text color using the color attribute. This is what basically it allows us to do, that hey, in order to use the text color, you can use color attribute, colon, blue, red, green, orange, whatever colors you want. We will talk more about colors in the colors episode, color section. We come into that point, so you can find out what different colors we have available in HTML, in CSS, and what we can use that. In a nutshell, we use style to design various different things. And as I said, there are a ton of different properties that you can do. So for example, if you want to change the format of your font of your tag, you use a font family, Verdana, Courier, or whatever family of fonts you want to use. You can change the font size as well. So we can say, hey, font size, make it 300%, so it becomes 300% large. So if you try this code out, if I execute it, see this, now the text is huge because we have set it to 300%. Again, do keep in mind we can use multiple styles as well. So for example, I can say color is equal colon red, and because I'm going to use multiple styles, I need to use this semicolon icon. So this semicolon here basically indicates that this is one style property. Okay, and now after the semicolon, this style property ends, and now we have a second style property. So if I run it, this becomes red. I can specify third as well, making sure there is a semicolon so that it ends one property, and now it will take this as background dash color, and then we can say colon. It can be, for example, again blue, and then we just hit run here, so it turns blue. Now do note that at the last property we have not specified the semicolon. It's technically not necessary, recommended that you make it a habit of giving semicolon after every single property, but because we have not used any property after the last one, so sometimes it's okay not to give a semicolon at the end. So if you read the codes online, your tutorials, sometimes you don't see semicolon. It confuses that why there's a semicolon or not. Basic logic is same. If you are using just a single property, so for example, if I omit this out, only one property is there, color red, run, it will take effect because there's only one property, no semicolon is needed. But when we use multiple properties within the same style attribute, then it's always recommended that you use semicolon to separate the various different styles. The last one doesn't need it because there is no property after this, so it's all okay. Okay, excellent, wonderful. So this is how basically styles are into play. We can use a simple style called text alignment. Again, this is a very fun one. What text alignment does, that it applies a center or left or right justification to our tag. So if you take this and then come back here, and I can specify this style here, again semicolon and then control V. I just copied it very quickly. Now becomes center alignment. So if you use center here, it becomes center alignment. If I make it, for example, right, hit run, it becomes right alignment. Okay, so see this, using CSS we control the appearance of our content. That's the basic logic of CSS, that allows us to design and control the appearance, the front end of our HTML. HTML is used to structure the content, that this is a heading, it is supposed to be large size, supposed to be bold, it's supposed to have this thing. So it's there for structuring. For designing aspect, this style attribute is used with the CSS elements to add that additional properties. Okay, so within this we discussed about style, we discussed about background color, we discussed about color, font family, font size, and font text alignment. These are very few of the basic CSS properties that we have available or we have discussed. Technically we have, as I said, ton of other attributes, more than 200 different styles that are available, that allows us to control every single aspect of how we want to display our web page. So every beautiful web page that you see has CSS at the back end that allows us to design. And for that, do follow, subscribe this channel, please, so that you can get this lectures. I will be posting the complete CSS tutorial in future days as well, so that you can learn about all about CSS there is to do. So this is what about basic about CSS. Within the CSS, we can add something called formatting. So if you go inside the formatting now, there is various different things that we can do without CSS and add some of the basic formatting tags within HTML. Okay, so I will talk about this in next session. So hopefully you understood up to this point. So in next session, we're going to talk more about formatting tags within HTML.